Ah, good morning, my friends, and cheers to you. Well, we're definitely not out at the campground, and let me show you what I woke up to this morning, and then we'll talk about that some more. Well, there you have it, my friends. Well, that's one of the reasons why we didn't get out to a campground this weekend, but it was all weather related. I wanted to get out Friday, but the wind chill factor was 20 below zero with 15 plus mile an hour winds. That had just been brutal. Saturday wasn't even any better, really. And if we had got out Saturday, well, this is what we would have woke up to this morning. Holy catfish. And red is not four-wheel drive. So that would have been something else getting home, let me tell you. And according to the news this morning, we've already had probably close to 100 slide-offs. And that was before 8 o'clock this morning. Holy catfish. But we're right here in the middle of this winter storm, and I know a lot of you out there are being affected by it. So in my area, they're down to essential travel, which I just think is a good idea. I mean, this is a good time to just stay at home, stay inside, keep warm, and keep safe. So hopefully that's what everybody's doing out there today. And for dinner this evening, I thought I'd share a meatloaf recipe with everybody. I've got it. It's a pretty simple one, and it makes a small meatloaf. I know a lot of meatloaf recipes call for 2-3 pounds of meatloaf. Well, that's a lot of meatloaf for me. So we're going to make a smaller version. We just use about a pound of ground beef, and it comes out pretty good. So we're just going to have a nice little home-cooked meal later this afternoon. And I'm debating on dragging out my snowblower this afternoon and clearing off the driveway. But according to the weather, this snow's not going to stop until probably about 6, maybe 7 o'clock tonight. And we're getting anywhere from ½ an inch to an inch an hour. So I'm like, I'm on the fence. Do I want to do it twice? Because I'd have to. Or just wait till it stops and then clear it out tomorrow, because I'm planning on going nowhere today. I'm just going to stay home and keep warm, and well, later on we're going to cook us a nice little dinner. So my friends, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate y'all coming along on this little kitchen adventure versus camping adventure. But yeah, well, Mother Nature's got us staying at home. So here's to you, my friends. Y'all take care, and we'll catch up when it's time to get dinner going. All right, my friends, well, let's get to cooking. And fortunately, the snow has stopped. Well, it stopped probably about a ½ an hour ago, and according to my back porch, we got it well over a foot. And it's drifting. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy outside. And we've yet to see a snowplow down our street here. And probably won't until sometime tomorrow, well, I hope. But I wanted to, a couple things we're going to need for this recipe is I have a half a white onion, about half of a bell pepper. I'm going with red this time. And I wanted to show this off. My mom got me this for Christmas, which is turning out to be a pretty handy little gadget. Because you want to somewhat finely cut these jokers up, and my knife skills aren't as good as I would like. So we're going to get these taken care of. So give me a second here. Check this joker out. Boom, there we go. I usually do it standing up, so I'm at an odd angle, so forgive me here. Yeah. It's falling apart on me. There we go. Now our pepper. Hopefully, I've not tried this with a pepper, so let's see how this works out. That was easier than that onion. That onion was stout. You can take out some aggression while you're doing this too. That worked pretty good. And there we go. Sorry for the bangs, but we've got, well, that's all good to go for our meatloaf mix. So give me a second, my friends. I'm going to get a little bit more organized, get the hamburger out of the fridge and everything, and then we'll continue on with the recipe. Oh my goodness. All right, my friends, I think I got everything out here we're going to need. And in my bowl here, I've got 1 pound of 80/20 hamburger. So now we're going to take our nicely chopped onion and pepper. We're going to dump that in here. Oh, and before I forget to mention, I'll pop something up on the screen that shows you all the ingredients we've got going in here. So we've got that in there, and if you think, you know, half an onion or half a pepper is a little too much, you can cut back on that. This is a smaller meatloaf. Now, here's our seasonings, and I have a ½ cup of breadcrumbs. And what I like to do is mix them all up first before I just dump them all in there. I think that disperses the seasonings a little bit better throughout the meatloaf. Ooh, like snowing. There we go. We're going to dump that right in there. And 1 egg. Hopefully I do this right the first time. Oh, I put gloves on too. This hamburger will be cold. It's been cold enough today as it is. So got 1 egg and now for Worcestershire sauce, I substitute barbecue sauce. So we're going to throw in about 2 tablespoons of Sweet Baby Ray's, just original barbecue sauce. Let's see if I can make it look like 2 tablespoons. There we go. Get the lid to go back on. There we are. All right, my friends. Well, I'm going to jump into this, get it all combined, and then when we come back, we'll put it in our loaf pan. And I've already got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. Oh, that is cold. Whew. All right, my friends, we're all incorporated. And just a baking dish, whatever baking dish you have, everything will fit in. So let's get this joker in here. Probably the easiest way to do it. Yep. And we're going to make it look like a loaf. That's pretty much what you do. I prefer not to use the loaf pans. I don't know, maybe it's just my bad fortune, but I have a hard time getting them out once they're cooked. Let's see. I think that looks somewhat uniform. I'll call it that. Let's get rid of these. Whoops. These things are lousy, I'll tell you what, but they do get the job done. All right, a little bit on me. Now, a lot of people use ketchup as their topping. If you do that, I would suggest mix some ketchup with some brown sugar and a little shot of mustard and use that. But I go with, and this is what the kids love, we're going to go with barbecue sauce. I'm getting low. All right. We're gonna need a little bit more, so let's see if we can get the cap on here. Just set it like that. We're gonna spread that out. Try and get it all the way around. Yeah, we're going to need just a little bit more. Let's see if that'll do it. Can't see that side really. It looks pretty good. All right, I think we are ready to put it in the oven. Like I said before, we are at 350 degrees, and we're going to toss it in there for about 45 minutes. And when it's close to done, usually I'll add just a little bit, or right about done. When you want an internal temperature about 165, I'll put a little bit more barbecue sauce on it and then turn the broiler on for a couple of minutes. And there we go. And I'm going to make some side dishes to go along with it too while this is cooking. We're going to have some mashed potatoes and some sweet corn. I haven't had sweet corn in a minute, so I thought that sounded pretty good. All right, my friends, when we get this in the oven, and we'll be back in about 45 minutes. Y'all take care. Cheers to you, my friends. It's dinner time. Oh my gosh. I'd have to admit that some of my favorite smells in the kitchen. Number 2, meatloaf cooking. Holy cow, this whole house smells fantastic. Number 1's obviously cookies. Well, let's see how we did. Now, when I pulled it out of the oven, it's important that I let it rest for about 15 minutes before we actually dive in. So hopefully it should be cooled down by now. Let's see. Yep. Oh my gosh, this melts in your mouth. That is fantastic. Potatoes are pretty good. I'll admit, they're just the instant potatoes. It just made life easier. And I didn't have enough potatoes to make homemade mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh. Well, my friends, this is going to be a fantastic little comfort food meal. Pardon me. On an extremely snowy day. Holy cow. I'm not looking forward to it. I did not get the snowblower out. I got dressed and I was getting ready to go out there, but the wind is just blowing in the completely wrong direction. So my thinking was, if I run the snowblower down there, the snow it was still snowing too. It was just going to drift right back over where I was. Oh, and speaking of weather, while dinner was cooking, I checked the weather, and it looks like our temperatures next week with this Arctic blast that we're having right now, I think the high temperature all the way up until like Saturday, even farther, is -3. That doesn't count the wind chill factor. We're not gonna, from about here through next weekend, we're not gonna see above 0. Holy catfish. So odds are we may be back in the kitchen again. I'm hoping they're wrong and we get a day, if we get a day that's not too bad, like close to 20 degrees with a little bit of wind, yeah, we're gonna be at the campground. But when it's below 0, I'll be spending most of my time in the back of red versus outside, and I just prefer to be outside. So my friends, I just want to thank you all for hanging in there for our little kitchen adventure. This was just pretty straightforward and simple, but I wanted to share my little meatloaf recipe with everybody. So everybody out there, here's to you. Y'all take care and be safe out there this week. And as always, I'll see you soon.